Accused I-96 shooter is facing life in prison after being found guilty of terrorism and other charges today. Raulie Casteel said that he shot at several cars because of mental illness and paranoia about the government. Alyssa Finsky was in the courtroom today.
Count 1, terrorism, guilty of terrorism.
Raulie Casteel had little expression when the verdict was read, guilty of terrorism. But for his family, it was devastating. They knew he was guilty of the shootings, but were hoping the jury would see him as a father who needs help, not a terrorist who could spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Disappointed that they accepted the prosecutor's case of terrorism.
For one of the victims, Jennifer Kupiak, hearing the guilty verdict brings closure.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about it. I have to take I-96 to work, and I have to think about it every time I get on that highway.
She and her family will never be able to forget how she was a second away from death.
In the end, there are no winners in this case. His whole family is destroyed through his actions. I don't have sympathy for him. I have a lot of sympathy for the family.
Detective Ron Moore with the WSYM Police Department, who's been investigating the shootings since they began, will also be able to breathe a little easier now that the case is nearing an end.
Side with the verdict and very much relieved. Certainly the investigation has long since concluded, but this portion of it, this judicial portion, I'm relieved that it's over.
He didn't do it alone. Today's outcome was because of the hard work from all law enforcement agencies involved. The Attorney General thanked everyone for dedicating their resources to catching him before any lives were taken. Bill Schuette said Raulie Casteel committed acts of violence that terrorized our state in unimaginable ways. And today, the victims of his shooting spree received justice. In Howell, Alyssa Finsky, Fox 47 News.
Sentencing is set for March 3rd, and Casteel is supposed to be sentenced in Oakland County tomorrow, but that has since been postponed.